You know, it's funny. Everyone keeps saying that the future of AI is all about just like throwing more data and computing power at it.
Yeah,
But I'm starting to think that might not actually be the whole story.
it's true. It's surprising how much emphasis there's been on scaling up these massive AI models.
Right. And it's worked really well so far. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
look at ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing whispers that simply scaling up might be hitting a wall.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, are we reaching the limits of what's possible with that approach?
Well, and the thing is, what's really fascinating is that this shift in thinking is coming from, like, the very pioneers who championed scaling in the first place.
Really?
Yeah. Take Ilya Sutskever, for
I
example.
remember me.
He co-founded OpenAI.
Oh, yeah, ChatGPT.
Right, exactly. He was a huge proponent of scaling, and it led to some, incredible breakthroughs. But now, even he's saying we need to find, like, the next thing.
So, what, he just woke up one day and decided to change his mind. Like, there's got to be a reason for this, right?
Right. Well, it turns out that simply scaling up is hitting some serious limitations. Like, AI labs are facing diminishing returns.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
So the gains from just adding more data and more compute are shrinking.
Like, they're getting less bang for their buck.
Exactly. And then there's the sheer cost and risk of these massive, training runs for these AI models.
Yeah, break that down for me for a second. What's a training run?
So imagine hundreds of these super powerful computer chips running nonstop for months, crunching through mountains of data to train a single AI model.
I can't even imagine the electricity bill.
Oh, it's crazy. These training runs can cost millions, even hundreds of millions of dollars.
Wow. So, like, training a model like GPT-4, for example.
Well, that's a perfect example. It reportedly cost over $100 million.
See, that's what I mean. That's just not sustainable in the long run, right?
Exactly. It's just not feasible.
So it's not just the cost, right? There must be other roadblocks, too.
You're right. There's also this growing problem of finding enough new and unique data to feed these data-hungry models.
Right. It's like they've already devoured the entire internet. Like, what else is there?
Exactly. And believe it or not, even power shortages are becoming a concern.
Really?
Yeah. Training these massive AI models requires an enormous amount of energy, which is putting a strain on power grids in some areas.
I had no idea.
It's a huge issue.
Okay, so if scaling up isn't the answer, where do we go from here?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Researchers are getting really excited about a new approach called test time compute.
Test time compute. Okay, I'm going to need you to break that one down for me.
So instead of focusing all the effort on the initial training phase, this technique focuses on making AI models smarter when they're actually being used.
Okay, when they're, what's the word?
During what's called the inference phase.
Right, inference.
Mhm.
And that's basically like when we're actually using the AI, right? Like when I'm chatting with ChatGPT.
Exactly. That's the inference phase in action. The model is applying what it learned during training to understand your request and generate a response.
Okay, got it. So test time compute is about making the AI smarter during that process.
Exactly. Like enhancing its ability to think and process information at that stage.
So instead of just relying on what it like memorized months ago during
Mm.
training, it can would continue to learn and adapt on the fly.
That's the idea. It's like giving your AI a little study session right before a big exam.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Instead of just spitting out the first answer that comes to mind, the model takes a little extra time to, consider different possibilities, weigh the evidence, and choose the best response.
So it's not just about raw processing power anymore. It's about using that power more intelligently.
Exactly.
Okay, this is starting to make sense.
Good.
But I'm a real world examples kind of guy. Like, are there any examples of how powerful this approach can be?
There are, and they're pretty mind-blowing. So OpenAI, Sutskever's old stomping ground, they developed this AI called O1 that plays poker. And they found that by simply letting it think for just 20 seconds during the inference phase, they achieved the same performance boost as scaling up the model 100,000 times and training it for 100,000 times longer.
Wait, seriously? Like, that's a ridiculous jump in efficiency.
Yeah.
It's like going from a bicycle to a rocket ship.
It's incredible, right? And what makes it even more impressive is that O1 isn't just relying on brute force computation.
Okay.
It also incorporates feedback from actual poker experts and PhDs.
So they're like coaching the AI.
Exactly. Adding another layer of sophistication to its thinking process.
Wow. So it's not just faster, it's actually getting smarter in a more strategic way.
Right.
So is OpenAI the only one exploring this test time compute thing?
Not at all. They
Yeah.
may have been early to the game, but other leading AI labs are catching on fast.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Anthropic, xAI, and even Google DeepMind are all looking into similar techniques.
Wow, so it sounds like this is becoming the next big thing in AI development, like a whole new arms race.
Yeah, you could say that. Kevin Weil, he's OpenAI's chief product officer, has even said they want to stay 3 steps ahead of the competition.
It's a whole new game.
It is.
Okay, so if this shift takes hold, what does it mean for the future of AI? Like, what kind of impact are we talking about?
Well, for starters, it could totally shake up the entire competitive landscape for AI hardware.
Okay, how so?
Well, companies like NVIDIA, who have been dominating the market for training chips, might face some serious competition in the inference market.
So you're saying that NVIDIA might not be the king of the hill forever, like they might need to adapt to stay on top.
Exactly. They're definitely aware of this shift, and they are working on inference chips, but they'll need to move fast because the AI world is evolving at an incredible pace.
Right, this isn't just some, like, technological shift. It's a potential economic earthquake.
You got it. And it's not just about big tech companies either. Venture capitalists, who have poured billions into developing these AI models, are watching this transition very carefully.
I bet they are. Their investments are on the line. But why is this shift so significant for them?
Well, Sonia Huang, she's a partner at Sequoia Capital, made a really insightful observation about this. She said that this transition could move us from a world dominated by these massive centralized data centers for training AI to a world of what she called distributed inference clouds.
Okay, I'm going to need you to unpack that one for me.
Huh.
What are distributed inference clouds, and why would that be such a game changer?
Well, imagine a world where instead of having a few giant data centers controlling most of the AI, we have a more decentralized network focused on making AI smarter in real time, wherever it's being used.
Okay, so instead of everything happening in these like massive server farms, the AI is getting smarter out on the edges of the network, like on our phones and laptops.
That's the idea. Think about your phone or your laptop suddenly becoming way more intelligent and adaptable, able to process information and make decisions on the fly.
That would totally change the way we think about AI and how we interact with it.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're talking about a whole new kind of internet infrastructure, one that's specifically designed for AI.
You're hitting on some really key themes here. This shift could be just as significant as the rise of the internet itself.
Wow. Okay, so we've got AI labs hitting a wall
Hmm.
with scaling up models. They're turning to this test time compute idea
Yeah.
to make AI smarter when it's actually being used. And this has huge implications for everything from the hardware landscape to venture capital investments.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. It really is.
I know, right? It is a lot.
And I feel like we're just scratching the surface here.
We are.
You know what's really blowing my mind, though? It's this idea that if we're talking about AI that can, think more strategically and adapt in real time and even learn from experts,
Yeah.
like what does that even mean for the definition of intelligence itself?
That's a question that philosophers have been wrestling with for centuries, and now it's becoming a very real question for computer scientists and engineers.
It really is.
It's kind of wild, isn't it? We're trying to create something that we don't fully understand ourselves.
It's like we're holding up a mirror to our own minds and trying to figure out how they work by, building an artificial one.
Exactly. And what's so intriguing is that this shift towards test time compute might actually give us a new window into the nature of intelligence.
Okay, how so?
So by studying how AIs think and learn in real time, we might unlock some of the mysteries of our own cognitive processes.
So this isn't just about making AI more powerful. It's about using AI to understand ourselves better.
Exactly.
That's pretty deep when you think about it.
It is. It really is. And it's a reminder that this technology is not just about, cold, hard calculations. It's
Mhm.
about exploring the very essence of what it means to be intelligent, to learn, to adapt, and to make decisions in this crazy, complex world.
It almost makes you want to, go back to school and study philosophy and computer science at the same time.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the potential of this shift,
Yeah.
but let's be real for a second.
Yeah.
Are there any challenges, any downsides that we should be thinking about?
Of course. That's a super important question. I think one of the biggest challenges is going to be ensuring that these more powerful and adaptable AIs are used ethically and responsibly.
That's a big one.
It is. We need to think carefully about the potential consequences of giving AI more autonomy, especially in areas like, healthcare, finance, transportation.
Right. Those are all high-stakes areas where a wrong decision by an AI could have, really serious
Yeah,
consequences.
exactly. So how do we address that? How do we build in the right safeguards?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is, and that's where collaboration becomes absolutely crucial. We need experts from all different fields.
Like who?
Ethicists, social scientists, legal scholars, not just computer scientists and engineers, all working together to develop guidelines and frameworks for responsible AI development.
So it sounds like we're going to need a whole new set of rules for this new era of AI.
We do. We need to ensure that these powerful tools are used to benefit humanity, not to harm it. And that requires, careful thought, open dialogue, and a real commitment to ethical principles.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about the future of AI, but I'm also a little bit, apprehensive.
I get it.
But I think as long as we keep asking these tough questions and working together to find solutions, we can navigate this new era responsibly.
I completely agree. It's a journey we're all on together. And it's
Yeah.
important to have these conversations and make sure we're all moving in the right direction.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the practical side of things.
Okay.
If this move towards test time compute really takes off, what kinds of changes can we expect to see in the tech world?
Well, one area that's going to be massively impacted is the hardware landscape. As we were discussing earlier, companies like NVIDIA, who have been dominating the market for training chips, might face some serious competition in the inference market.
Right, because if the focus shifts from training these massive models to, making existing models smarter in real time, the demand for different types of chips is going to change, isn't it?
Absolutely. And that creates this huge opportunity for new players to enter the market.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Well, we could see a whole new wave of innovation in AI chip design, with companies specializing in chips that are optimized for inference rather than just training.
So the playing field could be leveled.
Exactly. It's like a changing of the guard in the tech world.
It really is.
And it's not just about the chips themselves.
It's not.
No, it's also about how these chips are integrated into larger systems and how those systems are deployed.
So are you saying that we might need to rethink the entire infrastructure for AI?
Absolutely. Remember what Sonia Huang said about the shift from massive pre-training clusters to distributed inference clouds?
Right, the idea of moving away from centralized data centers and towards a more decentralized network of AI.
Exactly. That kind of shift would require a massive rethinking of how we design, build, and manage AI systems.
So give me an example.
We might see the emergence of entirely new types of computing architectures, ones that are optimized for real-time inference and distributed processing.
It's almost like we're talking about a parallel internet, one that's
Yeah.
specifically designed for AI.
It's a great way to think about it. And it's not entirely far-fetched.
It's not.
No, we might see the emergence of, specialized AI networks separate from the traditional internet, optimized for the unique demands of real-time inference and data processing.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
Okay, so if all this comes to pass, what does it mean for the average person? How will this shift in AI development impact our daily lives?
That's a great question. Think about all the ways we interact with AI today.
Okay, like what?
From voice assistants like Siri and Alexa
Right.
to personalized recommendations on streaming services and social media platforms.
Yeah.
Now imagine all those experiences becoming even more intelligent, more personalized, and more responsive, all thanks to the power of test time compute.
So you're saying our devices could become more I don't know, partners or collaborators anticipating our needs
Yeah.
and helping us make better decisions in real time.
Exactly. Imagine your smartphone not just reminding you about an appointment, but also suggesting the best route to take based on real-time traffic conditions,
Oh,
recommending a nearby restaurant for lunch,
right?
and even pre-ordering your favorite coffee so it's ready when you arrive.
It sounds like a whole new level of convenience and efficiency, but wouldn't that require our devices to have access to a ridiculous amount of personal data?
Well, that's the thing, right? Privacy concerns are going to be a major consideration as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
Of course.
We need to think really carefully about how to balance the benefits of, personalized AI with the need to protect our personal information.
That's a crucial point. We can't just blindly embrace any new technology without considering the potential downsides.
Absolutely. We need to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of these advancements and, work together to develop safeguards that protect individual privacy and autonomy.
Well, this has been a truly fascinating deep dive.
Mhm.
I'm already feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the potential implications of this shift towards test time compute.
It is a lot.
It really is. It feels like we've only just scratched the surface of what's to come.
I know, right? There's so much more to explore.
There really is. I'm definitely going to need some time to digest all of this.
Okay, right? There's so much to think about.
Absolutely.
It's like, we started this whole deep dive talking about how AI might be moving away from just brute force scaling and towards, this more nuanced approach with, what was it called again?
Test time compute.
Right, test time compute. But, the more we talk about it, the more it seems like this isn't just like a technical change. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about AI itself. It really is. It's like we're moving beyond just, building bigger, faster machines
Right.
and starting to explore what it truly means for a machine to be intelligent.
Exactly. And that raises like a really big question. What does it even mean for an AI to be intelligent?
That's the question, isn't it?
Is it just about like solving complex problems? Or is there like something more to it? Something that, I don't know, encompasses creativity, intuition, maybe even consciousness?
Whoa, those are some big questions.
I know, right?
And honestly, like, these were questions that philosophers have been debating for centuries.
I mean, exactly.
And now they're becoming practical concerns for computer scientists and engineers.
That's wild.
It really is.
So where do we even begin? How do we even start to like unravel this whole mystery of intelligence, both artificial and human?
Well, I think this shift towards test time compute might actually offer, like, a new path forward. By studying how AIs think and learn in real time as they're, interacting with the world and making decisions, we might gain a deeper understanding of the, like, underlying principles of intelligence itself.
So we're using AI as a tool to like understand ourselves better.
Exactly.
That's pretty trippy when you think about it.
It really is. It highlights how interconnected this whole field is. We're not just building machines, we're exploring the very nature of, like, thought, learning, and decision making.
And who knows, maybe in the process of creating truly intelligent AI, we'll unlock some of the mysteries of our own minds as well.
Maybe.
It would be something.
It would.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we're just at the beginning of this whole AI journey,
Oh, absolutely.
and there are a lot of twists and turns ahead.
Definitely. There are going to be a lot of unexpected discoveries along the way.
Well, that's what makes it so exciting, right? I mean, who knows what the future holds?
Exactly. That's the beauty of it.
Well, this deep dive has been a real eye-opener. Thanks for, like, guiding us through this whole complex landscape and shedding some light on what's really happening at the forefront of AI development.
It's been my pleasure. And remember, this is just the beginning.
That's right. The journey of understanding and harnessing the power of AI is just getting started.
Exactly.
And who knows what incredible breakthroughs and transformative changes lie ahead.
For sure.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
Sounds good.
To all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and stay tuned for more fascinating discoveries in the ever-evolving world of AI.